This is a real gift because it gives everybody in the whole Trump opposition, the Democratic Party, something clear and decisive to rally around. And we should use this and exploit this opportunity between now and Election Day.
James, Congress is on the verge of passing a humongous spending and tax bill that will, just to go over the highlights, take from the poor and the working class and give to the rich. Let me make sure everyone heard that right. It takes from the poor and working class and gives to the rich. That's not just something from know-nothing journalists or left-wing politicians. That's what the Congressional Budget Office concluded, the Penn-Wharton model, the Tax Policy Center. Earlier conservative bills would sometimes give crumbs to the working poor and a lot more to the rich. This one doesn't even go through the motions of doing that. They take from the working poor and even some middle class. And, billionaires can rejoice in this bill while it's taking health care coverage from more than 11 million Americans. Millions more will lose food stamps, including veterans, because of new bureaucratic rules. And as a result, this is a result of this bill. Child poverty and hunger are going to soar, and without health care, some people are going to die. The legislation would add about $4 trillion. That's right, $4 trillion to the deficit. But Lindsey Graham and his merry band of fraudsters devised a new gimmick. The tax cuts expiring this year will be extended at no cost. It doesn't add to the deficit, Graham would have you believe, because they were there before. So, James, if you have a regular utility bill or any regular bill, guess what? It's going to be free forever. Now, it might not show that effect in your bank account, but it's a free lunch. The overarching realities of this bill, it is radically anti-populist. So next time you hear Trump or someone like Josh Hawley say we're populist Republicans, this is the bill that proves whether they are or not, and it's just crap to say that they are. Populists don't give big tax cuts to billionaires while cutting Medicaid and other measures. And secondly, it's just a thoroughly dishonest bill. Other than that, James, it's just awful.
Well, there's one other word you can use to describe it, and that is unpopular. It's literally 25 points underwater, and it's got further to go down. So it's anything that can be done to stretch us out or have more people find out about it, the better off we're going to be. Because the more people know, the more they hate this bill. Even the people that don't know very much don't like it. This is a golden strategic opportunity for the Democrats in Congress. Utterly golden. There's never been a more unpopular bill of this nature that's ever passed the Congress. Not the Clinton stuff, not the Obama stuff, not the Reagan stuff, not any of it. Not close. This is the most unpopular in history. So exploit it and use it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Look, the Republicans' hope or strategy here is threefold. Number one, lie. They're not going to get away with that because it is such a blatant lie. You can't say that we're going to cut $1 trillion to Medicaid, but you know what? Didn't hurt anybody. Nobody's going to believe that. They won't believe the Lindsey Graham crap about the budget. The second is it won't take effect, some of this, until after the midterms. But you know what? It's not just a threat. There's a reality to talk about and hanging out there for Democrats. The third thing they're counting on, and it's the one thing that, I think I fear a little bit, is distractions, that they're going to get Democrats to focus on other issues, from trans athletes to alligator prisons or migrants. This is, it's not the only thing you talk about, but 80% of the time, a Democrat in a competitive race ought to talk about this bill because there's so much to talk about.
Oh, for God's sakes, please. I know there are plenty of other things, but you don't want to get distracted. We got an issue that hugely works in our favor. Just strap it on your opponent. Say if the Democrats win the House and the Senate back, they're going to just pass votes every day, repealing the more horrific parts of this, and particularly with reference to veterans health care, any kind of veterans care, rural health care, small town health care, agriculture, you name it. I guess go through, be nauseating, but don't get out of this. There's a clear contrast. They all voted for it. All the Democrats voted against it. Just keep ramming it home, people. Just keep ramming it home.
It's there. I want a word about Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, who provided the winning vote on this. She carved out special provisions for her home state on Medicaid and food stamps. Fair enough. That's what legislators do. But she then voted for what she said was a bad bill that's going to hurt people because she got her parochial favors. Now, rural hospitals, as you note, are going to get clobbered by the Medicaid cuts. So Murkowski and Republicans created a 10-year, $50 billion fund for these hospitals. Okay, that's better. The problem is the bill's going to cost these hospitals an estimated $119 billion. So with a great Murkowski effort, that saves 40% of the rural hospitals that might close. The second point I'd make is, James, the Republicans say, well, we're not cutting Medicaid or food stamps. We're putting in a work requirement. That sounds good to some people. It's been tried. It's been tried in Arkansas and Georgia. And let me tell you why it fails. What it ends up being is a paperwork requirement, a bureaucracy requirement. It ends up that a lot of people do go off the rolls because they are swamped by paperwork trying to prove they tried to get a job where none exists. They're filling out forms after forms after forms. And deserving people lose their Medicaid coverage. So this is the worst thing that's happened since Medicaid was enacted some 60 years ago. And it's an issue that you can hammer home on day after day.
I don't even know what's the definition of work. I mean, what person work or doesn't work? Of course, I assume you take care of a child, that's work, or you take care of a aging family member, that's work. I get it. There's a bunch of 29-year-old people that are sucking the Medicaid tit for everything it's worth. Makes utterly no sense. Well, assume that you're 29. Assume that you choose not to work, that you're whatever their image of you is. You're like a petty thief or whatever. You're not going to sign up for health care. You're going down and fill out 40 pages of crap to get Medicaid because you think you're going to live forever. You're 29 years old.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're trying to do. I really don't. It just, other than just have a talking point, is, well, we're not cutting it for people who work. We're just cutting it for people who don't work. Who works and who doesn't work? I have no idea.
The idea, just look at the overview. A $1 trillion cut in Medicaid, and guess what? It's not going to hurt anybody. I mean, that's just on the face of it. It is absurd. It is a lie, and that's what they're doing. And on the food stamps, which aren't as popular, but people rely on them, and they aren't unpopular, as a matter of fact. They're putting the same kind of work requirements in, including there was an exemption earlier for veterans, some of whom suffer from traumatic stress syndrome. They've taken that away. So veterans are going to lose their food stamps, as well as cuts to the VA. James, I think the hardest thing to do, if you were advising a great candidate, and that candidate said, James, I agree with you. That bill is a prescription for a disaster for Republicans and great for me. Give me the 3 or 4 points I want to stress. You'd have to work hard because there are 8 or 10 points you want to stress.
So let's back up. Let's talk about just the veterans aspect of this. There are 17.6 veterans a day that commit suicide. Okay, when you're a week away from suicide, you're thinking about something else other than working. I promise you. You got there are bad things going on in your brain. It's all so inhumane. It's all so stupid. It all such makes no sense at all. But again, I keep coming back. The most encouraging thing is the public. They may not know everything's in it. We don't know everything's in it because we keep finding out shit that's in there. It's 1,000 pages long, and we keep finding out. But we're starting a good place on this. The public hates it to start, and they're going to hate it more as we go forward.
And they are. And every day you fall into Trump's trap of talking a lot about other things is a day that you lose this opportunity because it is there. And that's what he'll do because, they see the same polls that you and I see. They know it's unpopular, so they do. They have to lie about it, and they have to distract rather. And that's I think he is the worst president of my lifetime, but he is pretty good at that. He knows how to distract.
Lifetime. Shit, how old are you? 250 years old? I mean,
We
having a
can
lot
ask
of
Joe
money.
Ellis about that.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jesus
uh,
Christ. But just stay. This is golden. You just need this. You don't need anything else to speak of.
yeah. And he told them he wanted it on his desk by July 4. Now, there is such a thing as the legislative process. I mean, it does have some merit. There are committee hearings, there are witnesses, there are analysts who come in for and against the bill. They just said bag all that. They really did. It was sloppy. It really was, it was dishonest in many ways. I can't get over Lindsey Graham saying, guess what? $3.8 trillion of tax cuts will cost nothing. We'll see how the bond markets react to that, James.
Well, I mean, first of all, the currency market are reacting. The dollar's at an all-time low. This is the worst 6 months the dollar's had with any president. So you can start there, but just stay. I hate to be like a one-trick pony here, but just stay on this. This is change. They want to get this rotting fish out quickly, and they think that when they pass it and he signs it, everybody's going to forget about it and move on, and no such thing's going to happen. And we should not let them forget about it. However, in how many votes, idiotic votes, they took to repeal Obamacare, which is popular, okay? This is unpopular. So we'll take as many votes to repeal this as you took to repeal Obamacare. How does that work out for you? Because you know what they're going to say. Oh, they're just wasting their time. They need to be constructive and work with this president. They're living in the past. They're doing this. They're doing that. Okay, fine. You took 139 votes to repeal Obamacare. We're going to take 138 to repeal this.
Well, James, you just reminded me of something else that we hadn't mentioned. This bill cuts back on the Affordable Health Care Act, which, as you say, is popular. And what it really does, it goes after those states that have expanded Medicaid because of the Affordable Health Care Act. Now, that's 41 states, 7 red states. I mean, real conservative states, the Oklahomas, I think Nebraskas, the South Dakotas, voted to expand Medicaid by referendum. And these people say, we hate the ACA, we hate Obamacare, so we're going to sneak something in that basically screws those states. It really is the most dishonest piece of legislation I have ever seen.
By far, and again, it's horribly dishonest. The whole premise of it, that it doesn't cost anything because you extend something, is utterly ludicrous. People know that, and people are, by large numbers, predisposed to think this is a bad piece of legislation. Let's just keep reminding them.
Absolutely. And keep reminding them of their falsehood. Scott Besson, the Treasury Secretary, who's supposed to be among the least dangerous, shall we say, in this administration, goes on Bloomberg television and says this is an important step to reducing the deficit. To what? Reducing the deficit? It adds $4 trillion to the deficit. And he thinks people are idiots and they won't realize this. I'll tell you, Mr. Secretary, people are not that dumb.
No, I don't think they are, and I think he did that to please Trump. But I don't know what the guy is thinking. But they're not going to convince anybody of this. And you just got to keep it going. Just make this fish rot, stink, rot. Don't say, "Oh, we pointed all that out. Let's go to the next thing." No, keep talking about this dead fish. Don't let them get rid of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we've covered this. I mean, I think it's been a good discussion, and I don't think there's anything we missed. Do you, James?
I don't think so. I think this does give. This is a real gift because it gives everybody in the whole Trump opposition, the Democratic Party, something clear and decisive to rally around. And we should use this and exploit this opportunity between now and election day. And I think this is going to the extent that the Republicans be hurt anymore in Virginia, I think this is going to hurt them even more. And I think it's going to hurt them more in New Jersey. It's going to hurt like hell. This is not popular.
Absolutely.